Geez, oh Pete's. Okay, we're here. Okay. So I was just saying, my phone's gonna die. So Britt has the questions. Tonight we're gonna role play. I think in the past I've like underestimated these calls, and whenever I was on the few that they've done in the past few weeks, I think it is helpful. Obviously, it's going to be hard to grasp every response and like write it down and remember it. But what does happen is the more we do this, and I feel like when you do hear it, when you get approached with these questions, you will feel more confident, and it is going to come back to you some, especially with repetition. So we're recording this. So go back and listen to it, just like a podcast or anything else. And the more you hear it, the more you will feel confident, because obviously you guys know we're a very hands-on team. You guys all have incredible mentors. If you have questions, you go to them and you're like, hey, I feel uncomfortable. I'm not sure what to say, which is good. But what will also happen is that when it comes from you, you just feel different about your business. You feel different, you respond different, you feel more confident when you are approached. So I think this is good. I think we should do it more. So Britt has the questions. Hang on one second. My cat is going insane, so I'm just going to get her out of the room. Hang on one second.
So relatable.
Are you saying something about my cat?
She is. She's just not a cat person. Kitties are
okay.
the best.
Organized chaos. We're here. We're good. So Britt has the questions.
Yep.
I am going to answer them, but I would like for any of you that have your cameras on. So if you don't want to be called on, then turn your camera off, because I just want to pick 2 or 3 questions to have you guys answer. And don't feel nervous, because we're going to go through it together. And I'll only do it for a few, but I'll start off. So Britt, if you want to.
Yeah. First question is, what do you do for work?
So this question can be answered 100 different ways. I think it's very important to reevaluate who you're talking to, because you can literally say what you do in a lot of different ways, depending on if you're talking to a stay-at-home mom, someone that doesn't have a large following, maybe someone that does have a large following and she's really into blogging and she's really active on her social media. You would present it as, girl, I literally do what you're already doing. I educate and demonstrate beauty products. I utilize my Instagram to make an income. I monetize my network, and I literally make money from doing exactly what you're doing right now. I could literally help you use this as a vehicle to grow what you're already doing right now. But if you were talking to, a stay-at-home mom, like when I first started the business, if I was approached that way, I would have been like, well, that's not really my thing. Like, I'm a mom, I'm not really on social media a lot. So with, in that aspect, you would want to say more. You could still say, I educate and demonstrate beauty products. I literally have learned how to utilize my time that I spend on social media. I've grown an incredible community. I work with so many stay-at-home moms who have really found themselves and like poured into themselves and had something that was just, it felt like it was just theirs. I've met so many friends, like you would go that way. But the base of what I do say to describe it is that I educate and demonstrate beauty products. And I actually have that in my bio. But whenever you're asked that, just take 1 second and don't feel rushed to answer, and think about, who are you speaking to and how can you present it to them where it seems interesting and valuable to that person.
Perfect. Next question is, why is Monat different from other hair care lines?
So I personally feel like it's different because the results show in myself and the customers with different hair types. Our products are clinically backed, which is very rare. We have a ton of patented ingredients, actually. So a lot of our products are actually only Monat products, like our Rejuvenique oil, our split end mender, and many other things. But I think the main thing is that they're clinically backed, and the results, like the proof is in the pudding. Keep it simple. Don't feel like you have to be over educated in any answer that you give. And non-toxic. Yeah. So there's many different things. Non-toxic, they're naturally based, but they actually work, because I honestly have a lot of friends who are super into all natural everything. And they're like, anytime I've used anything all natural, it ruined my hair. And like, I think Annie was actually one of the ones too, when she signed up, that told me that. So there's a big difference. Hang on one second. There's a big difference in all natural and naturally based. Hang on, I'm just getting distracted. Naturally based is different. All natural would mean there would be no emulsifiers in the product, and the emulsifiers is what's give you the suds whenever you wash and you get that lather. So without that, there is no way that it would be all natural. So anyways, not to confuse you, but.
Perfect. The next one is, can you really make money?
So with that question, again, it depends on who's answering it, but you have to be very confident, girl. My team is unbelievable. You absolutely can make money. I work with so many stay-at-home moms who have been able to provide for their families, moms who have been able to quit their 9-to-5 or cut back on their hours at their full-time job to give them more freedom with their family. I work with corporate girls who are, at the top of their company, and they're still doing it because they love the community and they just love what it's provided for them. You absolutely can make money. And then that would be a good time to ask that person, what does that mean to you? Like, what kind of money are you looking to make? So you can kind of pull them into the conversation.
Perfect. Next one is, how much time do I have to invest?
So that would be a good time again to ask that person, what kind of time do you have? Because on my team, we're very hands-on. So it really just depends on what you're looking to make, so that I can mentor you in the best way possible. And then also just with the time that you have, everybody's in different seasons of their lives. I work with, girls that work overtime every week and they still find time just because the financial freedom is a priority.
Yep. Love that. The next one is, I'm not a good salesperson.
So with this one, I get this a lot and I'm like, girl, I am not a salesperson. I'm a mom. We don't want salespeople. We want you just how you are, with whatever it is that you feel like you are good at. Like, this business takes so much heart and passion and belief in the products, and you have such an incredible team behind you. Like, we don't want salespeople. Salesy is not genuine. You're literally genuinely sharing a product that you love. And then I will ask most of the time, like, have you followed me? Like, how long have you been following me? Or like, how did you find me or whatever? And they're like, oh, I've been following you for however long. I'm like, do I sound salesy? And they're, of course not, or they wouldn't be inquiring with you. And they're like, no, never. And I'm like, right. So like, I would never want you to be salesy. I want you to be genuine and literally just talk about something that you love and share what the products has done for you or what the business has done for you, and let other girls get that same opportunity.
Perfect. Can I take the next one?
Yes.
I don't have a large following. So I personally had 325 followers when I started this business. And I think I hit AMM with like 450. So I think personally what I say is, again, leaning into the stories of the people on the team. If you can't, like, Jade's always had a good following since like running this business, but she also knows half of those people don't even like engage with her stuff. Like, there's so many different things that people have with regards to following. But I always personally like to say, girl, I literally started with 325 followers. If that's not you, you could say, I know girls, I have girls that I work with directly that literally started with less than 300 followers, 400 followers. And then I personally like to bring up our number one income earner hit the top of our company with less than 2,000 followers. It has nothing to do with followers, and it all has to do with the quality of the people that you engage with. So that's how I handle that. Jade, add whatever you want from that, but that's something I get all the time. And I'm like, I literally had 300 followers. Like, please don't.
That was perfect. Perfect answer.
The next one is, I don't want to be one of those girls.
Okay, so with this one too, I feel like a lot of questions you can ask, you can answer with a question. Like, what do you mean by that? And just see what they say. Because I have been asked that too, and I've had them say a few different things. Like, well, I don't know, like one of those girls that's just, you start selling something. With a lot of these questions, you have to really pour out from your heart. And I'm like, girl, what do you mean one of those girls? Like one of those girls for me, this has changed my family's life. And I get really vulnerable right away. I like talk about the debt we were in, the community. You know, I really was looking for this for the products and like hoping that they would change my hair and hoping to like build a genuine community because I was a new mom. I had moved away from my family and I didn't really have a lot of friends. And like, I did want to be that girl. I want to be that girl that like helps you change your life. Like if you sign up and you tell me 6 months from now that all your debt's paid off, I will be like that girl loud and proud. So just maybe ask like what they mean by that, but I have gotten that a lot. So Britt, if I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, that's beautiful. I think, like you said, being vulnerable is the number one thing whenever it comes to questions that, because that's a them problem, guys. If they're like, oh, I don't want to be that girl, that's a self-limiting belief. And the best way to go about that is never to get defensive, but to lead with compassion and to lead with being genuine, because then they will understand. Like that's a perfect example of where you could do feel, felt, found. I totally understand how you feel. I know people who have felt the same way. We found this. That's another way that you could go about it. But just being genuine and leading from your heart in those types of situations, because they're a bit deeper than like, how, do you actually make money? You know? The next one is, I don't have the money. Big one.
Oh, sorry, I got distracted. I just got an upgrade sponsor. Okay, so
Ooh.
I don't have money. So normally when people give you their objection is exactly why they need this business. Once again, being vulnerable. I didn't either. Girl, literally my husband had to force me to do this. We put it on a credit card and he was like, the worst case scenario is you at least make the $200 back. I have faith that you can at least make that money back and then you at least have the good products. But if you really feel like you don't have the money, you know what I would love to do? I want you to trust me as a mentor because I'm going to take you places in this business and I want to help you get that money. So let's like brainstorm together. If you really want this opportunity, you can't say this to somebody who's just saying that and they're not invested. But if they're invested and they want to do this, you can say, if you really want to do this and make money, I want to take you places in this business and I need you to trust me as a mentor. So trust me on this and let's brainstorm together. What can we do? I've literally seen girls sell their clothes, go on a Starbucks, you know, like where they don't have Starbucks for 2 weeks, or, you know, maybe you look and see where your expenses are coming from. Let's brainstorm together because I want to take you places with me. And as soon as you can sign up, we're going to do that together.
Perfect. Next one is, what do I have to do to make money?
Kirsten, do you want to answer this?
I totally just undid my camera. Repeat the question one more time.
Question is, what do I have to do to make money?
I would focus on just duplicating the process. I would show you, I would be like, just don't worry about it. I would be, hold your hand. What does Jacqueline always say? Like, we can lock arms and go to the top of the company together. I'll be with you every step of the way. I'll show you exactly what I do. It's really fun. I just share these products that I love with my friends and family and do fun reels on social media like you're already doing. And that's all I'd say. Basically just keep it as like a light, airy, like we could be friends and go to the top.
I love that.
Perfect. I love that. So again, with that, the only thing I would add is like she said, with the reels thing, it depends on who's asking. Because if you have a girl who's doing reels and she's super active on social media, you're like, girl, what you're doing right now, I could help you make $1,000 next month. You're making reels, you're on social media. I will show you everything. And it's literally duplication process. I love that she said that because that's really what it is. So I will show you. I'll hold your hand. I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to do this with you. And then if they're not super active on social media, another thing you could say, what do you have to do to make money? Honestly, girl, all you have to do is be coachable. If you can be coachable and you can trust me, I will lock arms with you and I will literally do this thing with you. If you really want it, we need to figure out what your why is. Like, what is the reward that the money from this business could give for you? and just be coachable, and then let's do it. Let's do it together, and that's it.
Love that. Next one is, I'm too busy. I don't have time.
Ashley.
I'm not the right person to ask this. I don't have kids.
No, because I feel like you still, though, you're very busy.
I actually had 2 girls that I reached out to, and literally that was their response, going to med school, going to this, and I literally said to them, that's okay. I'm busy too. I just make it a priority to, do what I need to do, batch create my content. And the reason I do it on top of everything else that I do is so that I can, it will afford me some more time freedom in the future.
Perfect.
I speak down. I don't speak down at the fact that they're busy. I'm like, I'm so busy too. My husband does. He's in the ER. I'm coaching, running a household, also running this business, trying to grow, trying to make money, blah, blah, blah. But I also always say, like, I have full confidence in you that you'll be able to do this regardless of your schedule, because it's so simple and duplicatable that it really doesn't require that much extra effort. It's basically what you like. And also those 2 girls are posting on social media almost every day. And I'm like, it's basically what you're already doing with a little more thought.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Love that. I feel like anytime you can tell them it's literally already what you're doing, let's just make money doing what you're doing. If you have a girl who's scrolling Instagram 3 hours a day, it's like, sis, scroll for 2 and make money for 1. You know what I mean? I love that. Next one is, how do I get started? I feel like this is something that we overcomplicate so much, and it's such an easy thing. So Jade, do you want to give your verbiage?
Sure. So if you said, how do you get started? I would say, okay, so basically we're going to do a hair consult. I'm going to get the products in your hands, and then you have direct access to me. I'm all yours. I'm going to be your mentor. I'll send you a video. We'll schedule a call after so I can game plan with you. And I need you to tell me how much money you want to make in the next 60 days, and then I'll map it out for you.
Oh, so simple. Glorious. Okay. Moving on to VIP questions. We only have a couple. My scalp feels oily.
Okay. So Kirsten, you answer this one.
I would dissect what they're doing. So I'd be like, did you wash? Oh my gosh. Did you watch my wash video? That got tongue twisted on that one. And sometimes, surprisingly, I will get people that say, oh no, I didn't take the time to watch it. And I'm like, well, girl, that's really important. Go watch that video I sent you, and I'll resend it to them, and make sure you're doing the proper steps. If they're like, yes, I'm doing all those things, then I try to really break it down to them and say, okay, well, are you getting a good lather, and are you rinsing until it's squeaky clean? Because I tried to make that a huge thing, because a lot of people think that they can just like rinse a little bit out of their hair and they like that silky smooth feeling, but not with our products. If your hair feels like super silky smooth still in the shower, in my opinion, it's heady when you get out and you have product left in your hair.
Yep.
So I go over that with them. If they still say their scalp is oily, then I just tell them it could be a process of your hair just purging from what you were using before. Think about it. The products you were using before aren't as clean as what we have. So a lot of those products have silicones and all the bad stuff in it, and your scalp could be purging, and it just has to balance out. Make sure you're using all your products and the way I showed you, but you also have to give it time, because nothing happens overnight. Like your scalp, your skin, everything is adjusting to this new product. And I would love it if you just give it a little more time, because I promise the results will come, kind of thing. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, that's perfect. It's more from an educational standpoint. So at that point, I would try to pull your upline in if you're not comfortable. Here's the thing is, don't freak out about no matter what. My scalp is itchy, it's greasy, and you're like, oh no, what did I do? Like, you didn't do anything. This is so common. They're either not washing right, like she said, not rinsing. Maybe here's what happened with Annie the other day. She's like going through the consult and can't figure out why this girl, she's like, I don't remember what she said. I think she was like, it's so dry, it feels so brittle. And she's like, what? Like, there's no way. You have the black shampoo, right? And she's like, no, girl, I changed it to the Intense Repair. And Annie's like, what? No, you can't use that shampoo every time. That's a treatment shampoo. And the girl's like, oh, I didn't know. I just switched it. So you really never know. You got to dissect it and like figure out, okay, we have the right product. Show me a picture. That's sometimes the first thing. Show me a picture of what you're using. Because a lot of times they'll show me, oh, well, I'm using this shampoo and conditioner. And I'm like, well, what leave-in are you using? They're like, well, I didn't use it. And I'm like, but you have to use it, because if your ends are super dry, your roots are going to overcompensate, because they're like, oh my gosh, her hair is dry. You got to use the leave-in. So just reevaluate, take a step back. Don't freak out. My best advice.
Perfect. Next one is my hair feels tangled.
I feel like Kirsten's good at these questions. Do you want to answer that one?
Sure. My hair feels tangled. I would go directly to, did you brush your hair before you got in the shower? A lot of people don't know that step, which I should add that to my wash video. I think I do say that in there, but always tell them to brush their hair before they get in the shower, because that just sets a good foundation of washing your hair. Think about it. If it's all naughty and then you go in the shower and you're zhuzhing it up, it's just going to make it more naughty. And then I always tell them to have like a wide tooth comb or something like what Jade had in that video that she posted, to brush their conditioner through in the shower and then rinse it out really well. And then from there, make sure they're using their leave-in product. If you don't have a leave-in, you're not sealing your cuticle. So if you expect for it to feel smooth, but you didn't even put like the last layer on it, you didn't close your cuticle all the way. And they need to be rinsing with lukewarm water, not hot water, because if you don't seal the cuticle that way, it's still open and like freaking out. So you have to seal the cuticle with lukewarm water when you're rinsing your conditioner, or cool water, and with a leave-in product of any kind, Rejuva beads, not detangler, blowout cream, CC cream, just something, you know what a leave-in product is, Restore leave-in conditioner, whatever it is that they have that you set them up with, they need to be using after the shower for sure, mid-shaft to ends. That's all I got. Okay.
Next one is, if a VIP says, what does it take to be a market partner?
Do you want me to answer?
Yep, you're good at these.
What does it take to be a market partner? So I would just say, well, this is totally about you. So are you wanting to be a market partner for the discount, or do you want to make money? And then see what they say. If they say for the discount, I'm like, girl, it's a no-brainer. You love the products. I would definitely upgrade. And then if you ever get referrals, or if any of your friends are asking about your hair, because I know they have to, your transformation has been insane. So when they do, I'll just teach you how to sign them up underneath you, basically as a referral program. Or if they're like, no, I want to make money, you can just say, okay, well, look, you already love the products. You're literally like 10 steps ahead of where most girls are when they start their business. You have your own transformation. You love the products. Again, it's a no-brainer. You would upgrade your account, and then you have automatic access to me at all times. I'm your mentor. I'm going to help get you going. And the first thing we're going to do is show your hair transformation.
I love that. I didn't even think about the transformation and stuff. That's such a smart thing to add in for an upgrade. See, guys, even us leaders learn all the time. And then the last question for a VIP is, my hair feels like there's a film on it. Kirsten.
I would say, are you rinsing well enough? Because a lot of the times when people feel like there's a film on it, or if it's stringy when they're trying to brush it out in the shower after the shower, they're not rinsing well enough, or even washing well enough. So I would just go straight to the wash instructions again. Are you sudsing on the second wash? Are you rinsing that out really well before you apply your conditioner or your mask? And then I always revert to like telling them to make sure in the shower when they're rinsing their conditioner to pull their hair apart. Because I feel like a lot of the times people won't do that, like kind of pull it apart to make sure that it can actually rinse their scalp back there. And that's the first place they are like, it's just so heavy in the back of my head. I'm like, well, it's because you didn't really pull it together and get everything out of it. Because if you don't, it's going to feel like there's a film on your hair.
Love
Perfect.
that. Totally agree. All right, guys. Well, that's all she wrote. Does anybody have their own questions that like they feel like they're constantly getting asked, or an objection?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So about the what's it called? Whenever you like shed.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have any responses if people ask about that? Because like I shed every day and I kind of want to take a picture of it and post it and say, this is normal. Like I do it too. And my hair's still growing, but I don't know how to approach that.
Well, there is a written fact that you do shed 150 hairs a day. So I start with that. But
Okay.
then I also say when you start using Monate, if you had been using bad products before, your pores could be clogged, then which your hair is holding on to those clogged pores, so it doesn't have the proper turnover. So
Okay.
if you're putting, bad dry shampoo on your scalp, filling your pores with bad stuff, it's not allowing the hair to let go out of the telogen phase, I believe it is. That's when it's like dead, ready to go off. Am I right?
I don't know. It's
Girl,
fancy
you're the
word.
There's different phases of there's different phases of growth. There's I think 3. Intelligent is when it's dead and it's ready to let go. But your hair can get clogged if you're using bad products. Your pores can get clogged to where it stays, and then that's why people's hair doesn't grow and they feel like it's just thin all the time and it's not turning. It's because it doesn't have the proper turnover. So when you start using Monate, you get that proper turnover. And you get to shed just like a tree grows new hair or new leaves. A tree doesn't even grow hair, new leaves every year. Like you have to turn over and you have to shed. It's completely normal. And there's also 2 shedding seasons in everybody's life. Like you usually shed from fall into winter, and then you usually shed from spring into summer.
I didn't know that. I have one other analogy that I've found.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're totally fine. One other analogy that I have found super helpful, and it seems like, because I mean, Kirsten's amazing and she's a hairstylist. People are like, oh, awesome. Like they know she knows her stuff. For those of us also who aren't, a really logical one that you can give to people, I like to talk about exfoliating. I always say, honestly, like shedding is the best thing that you can do for your scalp. You don't go and get a facial and get mad that they just exfoliated a layer of skin off. You know that in order to have the nicest, dewiest, glowy skin that you can, you have to go and get a layer of your skin taken off. Some people go and get 10 layers of their skin taken off with peels. So I think it's just, that's a nice way to be able to kind of ease people's minds, be like, I know that it can be really scary. Again, after you get a chemical peel, your face could be red and, whatever, peeling for a week. Like it can be kind of scary, but just understand that there's certain processes that have to take place in order for you to have an optimal environment for your skin. And I would really preface that, like, your scalp is skin. I wouldn't even focus on the hair aspect. I would say our biggest goal is to make sure that your scalp is healthy. So if you're experiencing shedding, that's great. That means that your scalp is optimizing its environment for you to have the best hair growth and the fullest hair possible. That's something I like to say. And I think as someone who's doesn't have the credibility as a stylist, they're like, oh, well, logically that makes sense. And that seems to have eased a lot of my VIPs. So
Love that.
Anybody else have any questions? Oh, so Natalie does like hair removal and stuff, guys. She's an esthetician. She even says with the hair growth and the cycles and stuff. Same thing. Not even just the shedding, but the growing as well. That part I actually knew.
Awesome. Destin, did we cover everything, babe?
Yes, and I was just wondering, because I started in April and I'm still shedding, so that's good, normal, right? Or do I need to switch my products up?
You'll always be shedding.
Okay.
Yeah, always shedding.
Like Kirsten said, you're supposed to, not even like, oh, you can, you're supposed to shed 50 to 150 hairs per day. And just for reference, guys, you have 200,000 strands of hair on your head. I know that seems like a lot, but you have 200,000 strands of hair on your head. If you're losing 50 hairs a day and your scalp is able to replenish those hairs, you could lose 1,000 hairs. That's nothing when you've got 200,000 hairs on your head. You know what I mean? So just put that into perspective for people as well. Like Jade said, the best thing you can do is educate yourself. It's not even just, oh, Monate specifically XYZ. It's like, if you just learn about the process of hair shedding and scalp health and all the things, you can always talk people through the products as well, not even just Monate specific.
Awesome. So helpful. It's good to talk these things out. So I hope that was helpful. We have it recorded, so go back and watch it. If you have any other questions that you think of, you can send them to WhatsApp, but that was all we got. Thank you, girls. Thank you so much for your time.
So,
Bye.
Bye.